So it's not about any kind of homework. When God blesses you, you feel it. It's a feeling inside of you, a knowing. They may have paid some high prices to craft up on the very worst for you. But when we're saying no, when we're calling our energy back, when we're suggesting we have the right to our autonomy, our agility of sound mind, body, spirit, and soul, God is the one that says yes. And so when God is saying yes, nobody can stop what God is doing here. So though they want to work up in their cover-ups, they want to work up in their ways to quote things, specifically to quote things, to suggest that you're in the wrong about you coming forward. They don't have to like your content. They don't even have to be here. But if it angers them and the shoe fits, go ahead and wear it. Because these dark occults design in the way that they perform, and within those kind of proxy wars over the hearts and minds of those who are carrying the truth. And finally, you aren't able to necessarily see the signs as they're coming, but yeah, you can feel that build up. And so with that, in that build up, you know it's true. And either way, within the cover-ups and smear campaigns and spreading lies and all this other stuff, they're playing with fire. They're playing within crimes against your humanity and getting away with it too. They have a lot of protection out here in this day and age, and it's really sad because they can't necessarily see your light trying to shine through all of the darkness and murky places that they've placed you in. So it's been a long and hard way for you to have to go up against all of these covert attacks, stages upon stages of setups, and they could have been inspired by you. Secretly, I believe they've had to. They've had to at least be a little bit astonished by what the Lord can do for you through what their attacks have been. But nonetheless, they could have rather wanted to share your growth with you and your light. They didn't have to try and stomp out your light. They didn't have to move that way at all. They too should be seeking the kingdom first. But they insisted, and instead used it to make advancements on you, to steal it away from you, and set up these crimes against you so bad and leave you pushed off in the dark so bad that it was meant to take you to the other side of this life. And so when they come up against your stuff that you're on and that you're writing on or that you're working on, but they have no ability to actually face you on it, those aren't spirits of friends. Friends are forever. People that are for you are loving, and they're going to be willing to face whatever trajectory that you're up against, and especially if they're not in it. It suggests to you that they're involved, and their involvement is at large when they can't face you the same way. And the reason that they can't is not because of you, it's because of their own consciences hurting. And so we do pray for our enemies. We don't walk away. We don't call up the relationship in that kind of fashion. And it's not us that do. It is them that already had by their actions. And you don't have to tolerate those actions. You see, because they were trying to utilize any kind of light about you or anything about you. And instead of being able to see it with you and to take those avenues with you, they were utilizing it to try and get a knowing of your character first of all, but to utilize everything that they could gain out from underneath you as a way to steal everything from underneath you, steal away that light from you. And all because They are mad about the advancements you're making with who you are and with what you're taking up to be established in your character. You have the right to establish that character. You have the right to take up staff and walk away. And if they don't like the word no, you already know there's a problem. That's the very first thing. That's like, it's like raping a person's mind, self-control, self-agility, all that stuff right out from underneath the person because they're throwing that brick of poison at you. And so it's to create these new avenues in your life. You don't need to go through all of them avenues with them. So they know how hard pressed that they've been for you. And in doing so, by all of that heavy grinding that you've had to go through, and it's been heavy, those warfare games through proxy and by their proxy, controlling your love life and everything in that kind of fashion is ways to aim to maintain that identity theft and that crime. And so them walking away isn't them being accountable. That's just insane. They think that they're being accountable and saying that, oh, it's this, that, or the other reason. They could come up with 1,000 reasons. But the fact of the matter is that to think it's coming from those that you've entrusted in this fashion and for such a long time, that's like a kill move. That's like straight up like, we meant for this to hurt as bad as possible. You see what I'm saying? It's like, you remember when Facebook had a bunch of people that were like, and these were young kids, but they were there was a higher rate of suicide, and it's because of that trolling online, and these people that they were in school with and things like that. That they just didn't feel like they could tolerate it anymore, and I think that's just horrible. It'll make you puke if you ever realize how much horrible things that these people went through. Because when there's people out here to try and detriment or leave you in detriment and leave you decimated in that place within, these are proxy wars against your soul and your spirit, your heart, your mind. Especially when there's poisons involved and they're covertly working upon you in that way. And then they're also hacking you to then steal away from everything that you've been working on. And then even if they were to get away with that, it's the fact that they're utilizing those things now against you that also trigger you and hurt. Because sometimes I don't think that these younger generations might realize it if they're faced up with that kind of thing. But that's the kind of thing that I remember reading about anyway, when it was about these people on Facebook that you would find higher suicide rates. So when you've already won because of what you've had to go through, you really did gain. Because even if you gain everything in this world, what is the price of it if it's going to cost them their soul? Nothing. Nothing is worth that. They can put themselves in harm. They can put themselves in harm's way, and all that is well that ends well. But this stuff is pure evil. And to devise themselves and to try and devise others from the truth or from being able to see you for just their own selves, that's divisive in truth, because they came against you. They came against you laughing at your pain, creating the travesty, creating more hurt. And so they took it upon themselves to come up against your heart in that very, very wicked way. And they didn't need to do that. They wanted to do that. There was no accident there. If they would have known to choose differently, should they have just shut up or sat down and listened to others? Maybe it's because they themselves tried so covertly to put you into that fictional box that I was putting together lyrical values before a long time back now. But those things are very verbatim in the lyrics as to what I'm suggesting. Though maybe some of it was harder to put together. I created like 3,000 lyrical values or something like that in a matter of a really short period of time because I felt like I needed to learn how to speak. And with arsenic, for an example, you really have a hard time putting the thoughts into your mouth to say. And so that's why I always say write it down and keep writing, because only then can you actually really know what you're saying in spirit then, because otherwise you're speaking on behalf of this world and the way this world is creating that English to be. And so we're trying to teach a little bit about that hearts as language and that heart speak. I personally like the term heart speak. It flows, and I know the S's collaborate together there, but I like that. So I like heart speak, and I forgot where I was in my notes here, but okay, so the souls that they've done ripped out in the worst ways so effortlessly. I have also said in my lyrical values is to straight up tear you down. And I give and I believe to the Lord that the Lord prepares us for more, not for less. Our comeback season is here, regardless what happens, because that is what heaven is all about. Here is just a preparation place. How are you going to decide to move? So, if you like my work here and you think it's helpful, and you think that I deserve to be speaking about these things, because there is systemic issues out here regarding how people manipulate and decide to move. And so, regardless of the pain that's there, my goal is not to hurt the people that did this. My goal is to hopefully add a scope of light, shine it in so that they can see it for themselves as to just how painful that might have been for somebody else. And so, if you would please, would you like my content here, and would you share a comment of a bright kind would be nice. And then if you could share my work to others, that would mean a whole lot to me, because these people still want to work in proxy against me. And the Gospels talk about where we're supposed to know our enemies. Don't let anyone deceive us, right? These things have deceived me so badly from a young age, and I just want people to be able to really agree with the fact that I have the right to come out and speak it. I don't need these people to say, like, suggestively that I don't do enough research or this and that, because I know my work, even here, can help other people, and I know that it's not perfect, but that's not my goal yet. My goal is to simply amplify the fact that growing is growth, and coming out in the first place is to build up that confidence, because I didn't have that confidence 10 months ago to be in front of the camera like this. So I feel proud of myself in that fashion, and not in a boasting way, but rather just I would like my enemies to know that their actions have failed me. Yeah, but the huger victory that can come of it is for them to realize how badly that they've hurt somebody that truly did love them and truly did want them in their lives. not to run off, not to be plagiarizing on their emotions, regardless if there had been any kind of foul play, because I don't think that any of us are perfect. But I believe wholeheartedly that there's a better place where victories can come in and be seen like never before. So as long as you're willing to put that into play, it's as I say that love, trust, faith, and belief are all tied together. You have to believe in love. You have to have faith in love, and you have to it should be of an honorable kind. But faith, love, and trust is paramount. Faith, belief, love, and trust. They all rely on each other, and without one, the rest fail. Any which way you look at it. If it's without faith, the rest fail. If it's without the initial love, which is spoken in John 3:14, the Lord is love. So you need the Lord, you need faith in the Lord, you need trust in the Lord, and then within your prayer values you need to believe. Sometimes that's the hardest part. You can have monstrous faith. You can have a relationship with the Lord. You can trust the Lord. But sometimes it's hard with the belief, you see, or it can be hard with their faith, or it can be hard in any of those areas. It can be harder than the other, right? So you want to pray about that area. And then by doing so, hopefully it strengthens your ultimate love value, your value that you share with your partner, the love that you share with your friends and your family, and the love that you can share within your community. So I believe that these things matter, and I want them to matter and be seen like never before. Like never before, truthfully, because this world has just gotten so rotten to the core. There's problems out here that are they're horrendously not very healthy ones or not very good ones. So don't go about the buggers this way out here. They're just being buggers to be buggers. Whenever you're trying to grow, you're going to run into some of these worms. And you just have to move past it and just continue. You're worth it, my friend. So until the next one, thanks for being here. Peace.